Yeah. What's going on, folks? How you doing? Yes, we are prepared well ahead of time. I was not just putting the keyboard away. I was not just adjusting everything and hat check, hat check,
Your hat looks good.
hat check. Okay,
Your
gotta
hat's
do hat check. Make sure my lines are straight. We
Mhm.
good?
Lovely.
Good. Everything's all right.
Beautiful.
Lions. I mentioned Detroit Lions.
Uh-huh.
What's going on, folks? I'm Manny Vitale, host of Manny Vitale's Wolfpack, and we just literally walked in the door from work and getting things going. And as you guys saw on the promos, um, my newest brother from another mother, Skylar Ray, is coming on. And welcome to Music and Mayhem with me and Skylar. He's actually going to be coming on here shortly, but just wanted to pop on here beforehand. Lori and Lori, if you can see in the comments there, is going to be part of this madness in a couple days. Lori is going to be our very special guest this coming Thursday. At what time?
7:30.
At 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Lori and we are going to be having a good old time. Be catching up with Lori with all the stuff she's got going on. We're going to be hearing about Boston 2% and all that he's got going on.
Yay.
We have a watch this, a plethora.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that word.
It's going to turn into a freaking quagmire.
Oh, well.
Wait a minute. Is that a swamp?
Yes.
You swim in what you want. I'll swim in what I want. And of course, as always, we have the one and only Thing.
Okay, that's my cue.
There's Thing. We can always. Did Thing just flip you off?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Thing's always here helping out. And with Thing, we have OG who decided to pop in. There's
Hi,
OG.
everybody. Oh, I need to look at the camera instead of looking at the computer. Hi, guys. Okay, back to my corner.
Okay, let's go back to.
I'm new here.
Camera check. Camera check.
Yeah, camera check.
Camera check. But yeah, this is just the beginning of this. Laura, you sure you still want to come on? Oh, trust me, I'm ready. That's the only people I have. That's the only way I roll, man. There is no sugarcoating on this show. I see Sugar Ray popping on. What's happening, brother? Let's see. We are about to come on.
Hey, let's get it. There we go.
Hold
on. Hey,
I already popped out of like a minute ago, man, because we were just over here making asses out of ourselves. I'm like, we need to have a freaking camera set up before we go live, just showing the silly ass shit. We're sitting here because last time I was like, okay, the monitor's here, so I'm looking here, but the camera's up here. It's just so I go.
Always have you looking away, huh?
And, so we're sitting here. I go. People are wondering. I wonder if people are like, man, before they go on, I wonder if they're nervous. I wonder if they're going over this. And here's us. How's my head? Hat check, hat check. Oh, brother, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Busy day, but it is what it is. I just noticed I threw on a wrinkly shirt, so you guys get a wrinkly shirt today.
We got the one and only Wrinkly Ray.
Wrinkly Ray, baby, huh? Little handsy
We got
Ray,
Wrinkly
baby.
Sky Ray in the house.
Let's go, bro. That's the mayhem right there.
Music and Mayhem.
Yeah.
Music and Mayhem.
Music and Mayhem with Skylar Ray and Manny Vitale.
Heck yeah.
I'm
just sharing this real fast. Man. What'd you say?
Do it. I said, dude, you just do what you gotta do, brother. We ain't going nowhere. This is our show. This is Music and Mayhem here.
Let's get it, bro.
I've had people hitting me up on Messenger, texting me. They're like, again, the first thing is, the show was awesome. So many compliments on the show that you were on on Sunday. The love for you and Kayla, your music and all that. But more than that, they were just like, you guys are like a freaking comedy act. And they're like, how long you guys known each other again? I go, an hour and a half. We came out at 6:30. Me and him started talking at 6, so we've known each
Yep.
other 30 minutes.
Hey,
But
it be like that sometimes.
I'm telling you, and then people at work, that saw it, and I go, yeah, man, they thought I was kidding. I go, we were just bullshitting about we should have our own show. Okay. Welcome to
enough.
music.
Let's do it.
Well,
Let's
welcome
do
to
it.
Music and Mayhem.
Here we are.
Absolutely.
Oh man, but yeah, so I always let people know. I mean, like stuff that me and you are doing on here. Like now, the last one was that you were on. Obviously, same studio, same everything, but that format was My Fight Our War. That was all about stories, recovery, addiction, and all that. But today, this is the Wolfpack, but this is Music and Mayhem. So this is this isn't going to be about this is just about crazy shit.
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, man. But a lot of people at work, I had them listening to your guys' music, and I mean, they had the same reaction that I did, Skylar. They're like, "Son of a bitch, man! You're
That's really
like
cool.
with your rapping, and then with Kayla, with her coming in, you guys, like I said, you hit them with a right and a left."
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take it, man. It's really cool that everybody enjoys it. It always takes me by surprise. I don't know, like, because I make music and I myself as critic, and a lot of times I'm like, that's pretty decent. But I feel like the last 2 years, year and a half, I've been making stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is actually really, really good. I actually like it. Like, throw that on. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
So I know it has come a long way for the fact that I'm actually starting to like my music. Because for a long time, I was like, that's what I got.
And then you find out that you were off beat until Kayla was like, honey,
you can use a little help. Absolutely.
Oh man, so
I'm so grateful for her, man. She's helped me in so many ways.
It's like, what was that? She's your peanut butter to your jelly.
Peanut butter to the jelly, yin to the yang, the light to my darkness. My cheat. I truly call her my cheat code, though.
Your cheat code?
Cheat
Because my
code.
cheat code, like when you play video games, you have a
Yep,
cheat code,
cheat
or
code.
like the Game
Yep.
Shark or the Game Genie, all that stuff like that, right? So she's my cheat code in life because with her, I feel like I can't lose.
Oh,
Man,
nice.
so-
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, remember that lady at that concert that walked up to you and said, Skylar, you are awesome. You two are beautiful. And I really hope you're like this off stage.
Yeah.
Remember that lady?
Yep. The girl in Montana.
She better be watching right now and heard what you just said. She's like,
Mhm.
son
I
of a
hope she
bitch.
be watching.
Jeez, man. But all right, but you know what? We gotta jump into this, man, because this is
Let's
very
do it.
important. This is very important.
Absolutely.
How
I
is
see a
how
lot
is
of people
pound
in
cake?
here as well.
No,
Pound
how,
cake.
how's pound
cake's
cake?
good. She's good. She's fresh from a bath right now.
I was just gonna say, I said pound cake's there.
Uh-huh. She always right next to me. This is my dog there. She goes everywhere I go.
Oh, but I was telling people about. Well, actually, they
So
saw last show, and
Uh-huh.
they go, what's going on? And just like with me, they're like, they don't give a shit about me. They're like, how's Susie and all that. But I was telling them about you, and they're like, oh, you going on again? And they're like, okay, there's music. Is Pound Cake gonna be on?
Pound cake's always on. She's
Yeah.
always right next to me. Anytime I'm live or anything, she is right in the chair next to me. She goes everywhere I go. She's connected to me. It's funny because I was like, I really want an English bulldog, and I wanted one forever. I told you about the calendar, right?
Yeah.
And I get it, and I get her, and now she goes everywhere. And most of the time it's cute, but sometimes it's annoying. I'm like, oh, stop following me everywhere around the house. Or there's times like we'll be cuddling on the couch, and I'm like, oh, I gotta grab something from the studio. So I come to the studio, and there she is right behind me, and I'm like, I told you to stay. Like, what do you do? Like, you don't need to follow me literally everywhere. I go to the bathroom, coming up the stairs. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. I
chill,
tell you,
chill,
that's like
lay down.
with Susie. I'll be sitting there, same thing, man. I'll be sitting there, get up, have a sleep, go stumbling in the bathroom. I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, bam! The door flies open.
Yep.
Son of a bitch. She puts, and then she just comes walking in, looks at me, and then lays down. It's like, yeah.
Dogs are crazy, aren't they?
Oh man, but it was so funny today at work. Like I said, man, the guy the day, today we don't work Monday, so today people were talking about our show on Sunday.
Yeah.
So besides you and Kayla and your music, it was Susie and Pound Cake.
Hey, let's go. Hey, that's what happens. They steal the show sometimes, you know.
They
Um,
do.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful for little pound cake. We call her cakes for short, but truly, we call her mama in the house. That's what she answers to is mamas. So it's funny because that's what she listens to. Everything else, she just like kind of doesn't pay attention. I don't know. It's weird, but hey, if that's the name that she's chosen, then it is what it is.
What happens when you're on the road, man? Is she with you?
Most of the time. It
Cool.
depends. It depends. It depends.
Yeah.
It on the weather. It depends on the
Oh.
circumstances. It depends on what vehicle we're taking, how far away, hotel situations,
Oh yeah,
show
yeah.
venue, things like that.
Who's gonna watch you when you're in Spain?
Oh, that's
We will have Kayla's parents watch her.
Okay.
no. With that, I had Dave Reed. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
He a friend of ours we trained with had a big old English bulldog, and there was something happened. It was I can't remember if it was with him or not, but it's something with you got to be very careful about them overheating. That
Yep.
they could get that something happened where I can't remember if it was Dave or
She sounds
someone.
like a '67 Chevy just humming, getting ready to back
Oh
park.
man! Well, I tell you, I mean, this is unfortunately a sad story, but
Yeah.
someone who had a bulldog took it to the groomer, and it doesn't matter what kind of dog; it's a freaking pet dog groomer. They
Yeah.
took this dog and they said, yeah, they had it in the dryer.
They
I
put
guess
him in
they
the
have a.
dryer.
I guess there's like like a dog dry where they I guess it surrounds them or something to dry them off. That not like a tumbler, but they
Yeah, yeah,
had
yeah.
but that some type. But the thing is, with it freaking overheated the dog to the point where it died, man. And
Oh.
they called this. I can't remember if it was Dave or not, but yeah. So they took the dog to the vet, and the temperature of that poor dog was so. It was they freaking killed the dog, man. And they
Mm.
said something about bulldogs and the panting, I guess with any dog, but there was some
Oh.
specific, I can't remember what it was, but it was like, you gotta be fucking
That
kidding me.
that breaks my heart.
Man, oh, we were
I don't know what I would do.
oh
I
my
don't ever
God.
want to get that call because
Oof.
I'm kind of a loose cannon and I got an anger problem and I don't know what I would do. I would just want to see everybody destroyed. That's what
How
like
old
so,
was Pound Cake when you got him? Her.
she was 2.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she was about 2.5. We got her. Jeez, I'm still rattled by that story.
Oh,
I,
I'm sorry,
I'm
man.
just thinking
We
about how
gotta
I'm
go
running
somewhere
through.
else.
I'm thinking about how I'm running through and destroying everybody right now in my head. Like I don't know how, what. Either they're getting destroyed or something's happening to me, but it's going down. Sorry, that's
Oh,
where my head's at.
I hear
I
Skylar's
love her
like,
so
thanks a
much.
lot, man. This is a great freaking show. Thanks for bringing me down, man.
Oh
Hey,
my god.
I promise we're going back up.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So yeah, I mean, no. What was the question again?
Oh no, but you
Oh,
had her.
oh,
You
oh.
got her when
She
she was
was two
two.
and a half. She was 2.5, and I went and got her. Once we started getting serious, like I said, we got that calendar, and Kayla told me when the calendar's done, we'll go get your bulldog. So the calendar ended, and we decided we weren't in the right place, so we gave it another year. We said we'd check back in a year. Then another year passed by, so we're like 2 years in, and we start kind of looking at how much it costs, right? It's like
Oh,
$5,000 for a bulldog. Like they're not
Woo.
cheap. And so, we're going and we're looking around, and Kayla tells me about all these health issues that bulldogs have, right? A lot of them
oh
got to
yeah,
have
yeah,
nose surgery.
yeah.
A lot of them have skin allergies. A lot only make it to like 8 or 9 years old. So she's telling me all these things. So she said, we will get you a bulldog, but I need you to do research on like a breeder that focuses on health.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
So
definitely,
I
man.
Good.
started searching all around the country. I found a breeder in Indiana. They're called Bruiser Bulldogs, and I went and got her. Well, I called him and I got put on a list. Right, I got put on a list. So I called him and I saw the prices. He's like 5,000 for our pups, and I was like, dang. Try not to act too surprised and act too broke on the phone, right? Like, oh yeah, for sure. They're
They're
great
like,
dogs. Uh, and in my head, I was like, oh shit, maybe not. You know what I'm
that
saying?
rescue dog's looking pretty good.
I'll go grab a pit bull down the street, $50. Let's go. you know.
Look down the alleys, honey. Look down the
Uh,
alleys.
so I was like, geez. And he's like, well, we do have retired females, um, which they're only 2 years old, but they have a litter or two, and then we get rid of them. And they're only about $1,000. And I was like,
Damn.
2 years old ain't too old. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
I was like,
Yeah.
well, throw me on the list for one of those, you know? Um, and so like I always figure I'd have whatever, like as long as I get me my English bulldog, I'm not really tripping. Plus, you can imagine it's in Indiana, right? So we got to fly from Portland, Oregon, rent a
Oh,
car, drive
Oh
back. So that's
yeah.
already going to be like 1,500, 2,000 just to get across. But these guys, I wanted one of their dogs because they focus on health. They get dogs all around the world. They got dogs from different countries. So they focus on old like mascot English bulldogs, like the 1940s,
really?
right? So they're littler. So like she's full grown and she's only like 32 pounds, and most bulldogs are like 60, 80 full
Oh.
grown. So she's not a miniature. She's a full English bulldog, full blooded. Like paperwork goes way back, right there. I think Bruiser bulldogs are like 11, 12 generations in right now.
No shit.
And but they focused on health because they looked for a certain type of English bulldog. I guess during the 1970s, when show dogs started coming around and things like that, people started focusing on the wrinkles and the cuteness and making them bigger, and so
Oh,
they really started breeding the wrong English bulldogs, and so a lot of health issues came along.
Mm.
So that's
man.
where you see a lot of health issues, right? So not these guys. They focus on the old school ones, kind of like the better genes. These live a little longer than the typical English bulldog. And so we're on this list. It's about $1,000. He calls me and he calls me right back and he's like, "You got a 503 area code?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Portland?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Perfect." He's like, "So that's the reason why I'm calling you back." He's like, "Check it out. So I'm going to Portland on a family vacation coming up. Um, on a family vacation coming up, and I want some suggestions on like good places to go, good places to eat." I was like, "Well, what do you like?" I was like, "I'm in recovery, so I don't really know like good drink spots." And he's like, "I
Uh,
don't know. I like pizza, chicken, things like that. And I like my coffee." And so I gave him some really good suggestions, stuff that I like in the Portland area, right? And with that, he went on his trip in about a week, and then like a couple, probably like I texted him. I was like, "How always like, bro, all the spots hit. They were perfect. Thank you."
great.
And he told me he's like, "If you give me good suggestions and I really enjoy it, he's like, I'll move you quicker up on that list because it's like a year and a half list to wait for the retired
Man.
females." So about 4 or 5, I was like, "Cool." And he's like, "Yeah, I appreciate you, man. I'll definitely be in touch. Great spots. Like family loved it." And I was like, "That's cool." And I was like, hopefully he remembers to move me up that list.
Yeah.
And then about 4 or 5 months later, probably about 4 months, he gives me a call and he says, "Hey, I got this lady. Um, she's in Chicago, right? Illinois. She's in
Hmm.
Chicago. She has this English bulldog. She just went through a breakup. She bought it from me, so it's official Bruiser bulldog. Um, and if you want it, you could have it." And I was like,
Woo.
"Okay." And I was like, "Well, let me talk to the girl." I was like, "Of course, I'll take it." So the lady was a vet. She just went through a bad breakup. She didn't want to leave. She didn't want to leave pound cake cage too long. Things like that.
Yeah.
And so she was kind of like a kennel dog, just because she worked like long hours and she has like a young kid, and it's too much, right? Pound
Sure.
cake, super needy, always wants attention. So it's a lot. Like it's even a lot for me, and I have all day for her.
Dog dirt.
So yeah, so she's a vet, and I was like, "Cool, okay, we'll do it." So I messaged you. I call my lady, and so we buy tickets right away to Chicago. We're flying to Chicago. Like it's going down tomorrow. Like going out, going to get her. So I text the guy, and I was like, "Hey, just bought tickets to Chicago. We're heading there tomorrow to go grab the dog." And he said, "Chicago?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And I was like, "You said
Uh,
Chicago, right?" And he's like, "No, she's in Wisconsin,
Oh.
over in Milwaukee." And I was like,
uh,
uh,
dude,
"Okay."
and you
You
already
know what
bought the
I'm saying?
tickets.
And I was like, "Well,
Yeah.
I'll figure it out." So I called Kayla. I was like, "Look, so we're landing in Chicago. We got to rent a car and drive to Milwaukee." So lucky, I think it was only like a 2 hour drive, 3 hour
Hey,
drive.
Okay.
hey, road
Okay.
It
trip.
ain't bad. It ain't Chicago to Milwaukee.
Uh-huh.
So we do that. We rent a car. We go get her. This little dog. I'm expecting this fat, snarly. She looked way bigger in the pictures than she is in real life, right? And so she opens the door. Her name's the lady's name is Maria, and I actually became good friends with her. Like we talk all the time, always text. I'm always sending pictures, right? But this door opens up and this little dog runs out, and I'm like, and I looked at it and I was like, that's an English bulldog. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed at first. I was like, this ain't my fat, snarly, slobbering friend I expected. I expected a Hoggers, you know what I'm saying? And
You
I was
got
a little
catfish.
disappointed. And she's like, come in. I was like, yeah. So I come in
Uh,
and I just bonded with her. Like, pound cake was all over me. Her name used to be Daffodil,
Oh,
right?
my.
Her daughter named it. Her daughter named it Daffodil, when she was like 4 or 5.
oh man.
And I was like, well, we're definitely changing the name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Before we
saying?
leave.
Before we leave. So, and it's funny because she told me, so downstairs in the basement where I spend most of my time, I got the studio, my games, everything's down there, right? So I spend most of the time in like the basement area. It's like 1,600, 1,700 square feet, lots of room. Our gym's down there, our press area, everything's down there. This is where I basically live, right?
Mhm.
And so we're sitting there, and no, it's funny because I was there, and she's like, "Oh yeah, she's really good. The only thing is she don't like stairs. She don't do stairs." And me and Kayla look at each other, and I look back at the owner. I was like, "Oh, that's no problem." I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's not a problem." We both were thinking, "Damn, there's like 13, 14 stairs to get downstairs. Like a lot of stairs, you know."
Mm.
You get like a
But we
slide.
got her trained. Now she runs up and downs them and jumps off them,
Oh,
and
Well,
But
yeah, well, plus she was in a crate, man. She's like, hell yes, I'd love stairs.
oh
freedom.
She,
my God. She
man,
loves it. She's been the perfect bulldog favorite. She's
that's
such a baby.
awesome, man.
Like right now, she's laying right now on the chair next to me because she wants to be on the same level, and her head is right
Aw.
on my lap. Like
I
that's
te-
how she is
yeah,
all the time.
I tell you, animals bring such freaking joy into our
Hmm.
lives. That's awesome, man. I
Yeah.
tell you, Skylar, I tell you, that's what I love about what we do in our families and our stories. Our stories are just beautiful, man, because it's just like, and I'm not saying other like normal people. I
Yeah.
mean, like,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter if we're talking about getting a dog or
Yeah.
recovery. Our shit's just like, what?
Hey, it's
And,
beauty. It's beauty because we come from a place
yeah,
where we didn't have much, or like things were harder. It could be taken away any second. So
exactly,
the
man.
fact that I built something that's gonna last, it's like, and that's why I say my best days sober or my worst days sober is better than my best days high. Don't get me wrong. I had so much fun running and gunning. I had the
Oh,
time of my life. You know what I'm saying?
I tell
But
you, man.
unfortunately, like nothing lasts. I always ended up locked up. It sucked. I wasn't in a place to have a family or chase my dreams. So you know what I'm saying? So like there's that double-edged sword. Like, yes, you're gonna have the time of your life, but like this is all you get
Oh
is running and
man.
gunning.
I remember when I started riding with the club, a good friend of mine, my brother Porky. I remember we were sitting there and it was a drug. Patron makes you join motorcycle clubs. You drink enough Patron, you're gonna join an MC, and that's kind of what happened, man.
Hey,
But it
let's
was so funny
go.
because Porky was just like, he goes, because I go by Gunner in the club. He goes,
Yeah.
Gunner. He goes, welcome to some of the best days of your life. And welcome to some of the worst fucking days ever. And just like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was back and forth. And you know what? I just happened to look over at our board here, and we got
Uh-huh.
some people who want to talk to you, man, or say hi. Ty, your sister
Okay.
Ty. She's reaching
Hey,
out to
Ty.
Ty. Jody, we got Swag. He's reaching out.
Hey, you got
Swag.
swag over in Detroit, baby.
Swag
Detroit,
is
what?
here.
And Vincent's on.
Swag City.
Vincent's on.
Let's go.
Vincent is on. Swag is on. Ty is on. Some OG Lynn. I don't know. Oh, that's you.
Oh yeah, that's me.
Oh, gee, Lynn. I
OG
bet you we
Lynn.
can't have more than one OG.
No. And then we got a little thing be running around here and shit.
You got to put an asterisk next to the name or something, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Scott,
Only
man,
one could be the original gangster.
I had, in fact, I'm going to have this guest, Kate. She's a coordinator, director over at Fan. I'm going to be a guest speaker.
Kate Middleton, or
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
is that her? Oh,
no,
there's
but
another Kate. I'm mixing
Kate.
last name. Kate Middleton's Danny and them. There's another Kate
Oh,
by me, but go ahead. I forget
oh
we're on
yeah,
separate
man.
sides of the country. I forget.
Oh, but Kate, she's a fan here, and we were talking. I'm going to be a guest speaker next week at their meeting, and
Nice.
her name's Caitlin, but she goes by Kate. So we did a show a month or whatever it was,
Mhm.
and we're talking, getting information, and after the show, she left the screen, and she was done, and all of a sudden we were talking questions. I said, "Oh, so about the show for fan," and one of the comments popped up and it said Caitlin that was a name and was given information. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay. I go, well, Kate is who I had on, and all of a sudden I see Caitlin. I go, oh, okay, Caitlin. I go, but are you affiliated with Fan? And all of a sudden I said, it's me. Caitlin's my freaking name, man. He was like, oh, okay. I mean, just silly ass shit, man.
Yeah.
But oh my god, yeah, it's just like that's why there is no recording going on with my fighter or the Wolfpack. Everything is what you
Live.
see is what you freaking get.
Tell 'em
You know how
about
you get the
dog and
bloopers at the
table.
end? You get it. Go ahead,
The
OG.
what?
Go ahead, OG.
No. I want him to. You're talking about dogs. I want him to tell about the dog in the back on the table.
Oh yeah. What's that mean?
With your mom.
Oh, I had my pit bulls. I had Chopper, and my mom would always say, "Your freaking dogs are as crazy as you. They're crazy, just like you." And she'd go over there at lunch, and she'd let them out all the time. And I'm at work, and every time at lunch, she'd call, and it was like comedy hour. It was like we'd be in the lunchroom. She's like, "Okay," and I put her on speaker, and my friend Christy's like, "Oh, it's my time." She calls, and all you hear is, damn it, what the hell? You're screaming. And I'm like, what? She goes, your dog. She's going, nut, Chopper. And I go, what? She goes, your dog shit on the table. I was like, what?
On the table?
So I picture, and then all of a sudden I hear the door slam and more screaming. She goes, your freaking dog, it's shit on the table. And I'm like, I wasn't even mad. I was like, impressive.
Yeah,
I go, she ran over, got in the kitchen, jumped up, and took a dump on my kitchen table. And then all of a sudden I hear her yelling again.
Chopper.
No, what happened was she's outside yelling. I go, where is she? She goes, she's still outside. She goes, she's still on the picnic table.
Yeah.
Oh, so she was outside, but still I had 3 lots. So here Chopper jumps on the picnic table and takes a dump. It was like, she goes, only your dogs. But
yeah, Gunner and Chopper, baby, let's go.
Oh, and then my other dog was Taz, and my other dog was Hunter. So I had Taz, Chopper, and Hunter.
Taz.
Oh, Taz, a man, and I tell you, it was just like with Pound Cake, man. But let's see, we got. Oh, I just looked up. What we got? Good to see you again. Ty, I told you actually, Ty, when I told her about you coming on, like I told you, Skylar, she just loves you, man. The things that she said about you and Kayla, and as soon as I told her about you, she goes, you two, and she just started laughing. She goes, you two are just gonna freaking hit it off, man. And then after the show, she's like, I told you.
Shout out to Ty. I appreciate
there she is,
so
right
much.
there.
Thank you for always showing love. Thank you for coming in. She said freaking Chopper laid a hot flopper.
Chopper laid a flopper. Oh my God, that my girl. But yeah, Ty, I tell you what, hats off to Ty, because she's the admin over at Scar Nation, and there's been things happen, man. You get busy, and Ty has been just picking it up and laying it down, man. So Ty, you are doing a great job, and thank you for everything and all your support.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, I see you with a Detroit Lions hat, man. Who's your all-time favorite Detroit Lions person?
Oh man, I tell you, I've always loved like the running backs and all that. So of course, Barry Sanders. But I tell you what, man, our new guy, J-Mo, now our receiver, this dude can fly. And you saw.
Is he a Calvin Johnson?
Oh, well, he's not nearly as big as Megatron. But he is so fast. I mean, he just outruns everybody. And with us, Detroit Lions, man, for 60 years. I mean, we're 0-16, like the worst of the worst of the worst.
Always trash, man. I'm excited for you guys to do your thing. I really am. God. No, honestly. I was so excited last year, right? Especially when I saw like Eminem at the games and all that stuff. I was telling Kayla, because I was waiting to go to like a not a Detroit game, but see Eminem live, and I was like, if they make the Super Bowl, I'm gonna fly down there. I can't afford tickets, right? Not to the Super Bowl itself, but to
just
Detroit because I
sure.
wanted to be there for the parade. Because I was like, I know Eminem will be somewhere performing
Oh,
or
oh,
something, you know. And so
they
I was stoked. I was a little upset they didn't make it.
oh, they were so close. And the funny thing too, us Detroit fans, man. When you say Detroit, like the Wings back in the day and all that, it's back in the day, but the Lions for so long have just been the worst of the worst. When we went to the old White Plain Airport, when we went to see Ian, when I was on Ian Bick's show with Locked In with Ian
Yeah.
Bick, we flew into White Plain, New York,
Yeah.
to the airport. Then we drove over to Connecticut. But when we were in Connecticut at the hotel, there was like a shit ton of people. Like there was lacrosse and all these games of sports going on that weekend. And I had a Lions hat on. And they get in the elevator. All these people get in the elevator. This guy, where was he from? Maine or somewhere. And he looks over. He goes, Detroit, huh? I go, yeah. And he goes, God bless you guys. He goes, we're from Maine and all that or somewhere. He goes, you guys should have won. He goes, you should have been in the Super Bowl. You would have won. It's like, man, Detroit football getting love.
That's dope. That's dope. Are you a Pistons fan?
You know what? I'm not a big basketball fan, and our Pistons last year. Oh Lord. Oh.
It is what it is. I think they hold the worst losing streak in any sports history.
It was the worst consecutive losing streak. But I tell you what, remember Malice at the Palace with Ben Wallace when he wanted to beat the shit out of Artest?
Insane.
That dude, his shoulders. He was like Vinny. Oh my God, he was so big. I showed OG the film.
He was so dominant.
Man,
it was crazy. Do you remember like the Chauncey Billups? And all that
my
stuff
God,
like that?
McGuire, Aguirre, and what's it? Tayshaun Prince.
Okay.
Tayshaun, those guys, and the other one, Rasheed. They had some bad Rasheed Wallace. They had back when those guys were hot. I remember Rasheed when we went to the championship. He bought them all like the WWE championship belts.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Bad Boys. That's when we had the Bad Boy era. But
I remember back in the 90s Bad Boys.
Yeah, man.
And then Dennis Rodman even played for the Detroit
my God, the
Pistons
Worm.
for a little bit. Yeah,
Isaiah Thomas,
baby, the Worm.
The Worm. He ended up getting out of the limo with Madonna, and I remember he was hooked up with Madonna, and then he got out wearing a freaking wedding dress.
Yes. Didn't he marry himself?
Yes. Welcome to Detroit, baby.
He's out there checking out Kim Jong-un's private
oh my God,
whip
that's
collection
right.
and all the missiles, bro. He was even in the WWF with or WWE or WCW with NWO, Hulk Hogan, all that.
Kevin Nash,
NWO.
Yes,
Kevin Nash, Scott Hall,
Razor Ramon,
the bad guy.
The bad guy. Welcome to. Oh, he was so freaking. He was perfect. I watched those WWE biographies where they show behind the scenes stories and all that.
I watch them all the time.
Well, Ian, Ian Bick, man, you're doing his stuff now. One of his sponsors is Ric Flair. So
dope.
So we're sitting there talking when I was doing the show, and he said, just asking about me, and he goes, "What haven't you done, man?" And somehow wrestling came up. And he was joking around about it. I go, well, actually, I was involved in 4 freaking matches. A buddy of mine that I worked with, his name's Billy. He went by Nighthawk, and he did like ECW. I mean, he did make WWE back in the day, but first time I met him, we were working at the hospital together, and there's also this big dude walks in with big long mullet and shit, and I look down, he's got nail polish on. I was like, and they go, yeah, this is Billy. And I go, well, aren't you sweet? Just kind of fucking with. And next thing I know, they go, man, he will kill you. He's a wrestler. So we just hit it off. And another buddy of ours, Jimmy Thompson, he's like, man, I always wanted to wrestle. He goes, well, listen, man, we do these shows and we want run-ins where it's basically some no-name that comes out and runs around, pisses everyone off, gets in the ring. And the one that lasts about like 3 minutes, they come in, and then the main dude just beats the shit out of you, pins you, and it's over. Well, they said they always look for people. And he goes, I could train you. We'll just do a couple bumps and you're done. So Jimmy's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'll do it. And about a week before the match, all of a sudden the reality's hitting. Jimmy's about to get in the ring. And I mean, even though it's at these gymnasiums, there was a couple hundred people, but still, all of a sudden, Billy's like, man, he goes, Jimmy's backing out. He's afraid, man. And he goes, I already talked to the promoter. This is booked. He goes, can you come in and do it? And I'm like, I'm about to have knee surgery. And he goes, yeah, but you do stupid shit. I'm like, okay. So he goes, be the evil manager. So, all right. So we rig up this routine, and my buddy was Bad Medicine, Jimmy Thompson. So we get to the arena, and they're like, who are you? And I was like, and Billy's like, don't be telling people you don't know what you're doing, man. Because these wrestlers, if the promoter likes you and books you over someone else, and they find out you're taking this as a joke, they'll hurt you. Yeah. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, fuck, Billy, what's my name? He goes, you're Dr. Love. And I was like, what?
Dr. Love.
So then they go up, they got the DJ playing entrance music, and sure enough, Kiss. And Billy's like, stay in character. I'm like, I don't have one. I go, I've got like 48 hours of training, you asshole. So sure as shit, man, the music hits. We hit we go out, and as soon as I walk out, everybody is booing this. You suck, Dr. Love. And I'm like, this old lady's throwing shit at me, and I was like, you don't even know me, man.
Yeah.
I had a riot. And then
dope,
I ended up having surgery on my knee. And then the promoter told Billy, he goes, listen, man, I want your buddy Manny back. I had about 10, 50 more pounds on me back then. And I was hanging with these guys.
Yeah.
Man, I ended up doing 3 more matches. And the last match, we go in there, and we're looking at the schedule, and it'll say the match, and it'll say like 14 minutes or 12 minutes, 10-minute match. I get to ours, it was 28 minutes. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, you're basically going to get your ass kicked for 24 minutes, and then you're going to give you 4 minutes to try to. Man, Scott, I had a riot. It was so much
crazy.
But I tell you what, people, they're like, oh, it's all fake. And of course, the storyline and all that. The bumps that you take.
Oh, there's a lot of real stuff.
When you get hit in the chest, you get hit with a chair, you're getting hit with a chair. Yeah. When I got thrown over the top ropes into the chairs, I got thrown over into there ain't no.
Yeah. Especially ECW is a lot rougher.
They were nuts.
They were known for being nuts. That was like hardcore wrestling.
I was in there with, they had, who was Doink the Clown was there.
Oh, I love Doink.
Greg the Hammer Valentine.
I know who that is.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, shit.
You were there with them?
Yeah, I was just like, I'm just gonna sit here. They're like, well, you gotta talk. Man,
I used to love Doink as a kid.
Oh my god, he was funny as shit. Remember they had Little Doink?
I was about to say, get out of there. I was about to say that. That's my line.
Doink and Dink or whatever.
Doink and Dink Doink or something.
Yeah. Oh my Dink. God. That was so much. Right now, OG's just sitting here. I looked over. She's just sitting there going like this.
You guys are connected. I know the guy.
Hey, no, I used to always love wrestling, like 90s WCW, WWF, man, Triple H, Mick Foley.
Oh my God,
Undertaker,
Mankind,
Shawn Michaels, the British Bulldog, like all them.
And now a lot of these guys are dead.
A lot, yeah.
Oh my. Oh, you know what? We got another one for you, Tyler. Tyler was shooting out some love for you, over at Star Nation too. And you know what? He besides doing the awesome stuff he's doing, man, with his recovery and helping so many people, Tyler is now jumped into the world of the MMA.
Let's go. Congratulations, Tyler.
Yeah.
Hey, keep doing what you're doing, man. It's amazing what sobriety can do for you. Always chase your dreams. And just remember, if it's scary, it's supposed to scare you, because if your dreams don't scare you, maybe they're not big enough. So keep doing what you're doing. You have our support over here. I am absolutely rooting for you, man. Go ahead and give me a follow. I'll give you a follow back as well. I would love to support your journey, see you throw it down, and I'm rooting for you, man. Let's go get that W.
Fuck, that's why I love you, man. I tell you what. This is sorry, man.
Tyler said thanks.
No, but man, the people that I've met I've been so blessed, man, with the family that I have in My Fight or War,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
now with the Wolfpack, it's just been great. But the extended family with Ty and Tyler at Scarnation, with Jared and Swag over at Define Blacklist, with all their people and all the different ones with my brother Ian Bick and all the others, it's just our family just keeps getting bigger and
Let's go.
better, and the
Mhm.
support, just like you. I mean, shooting out
Yeah.
to Tyler about the MMA and stuff. That love,
Yeah.
and the thing is, it's real. It's not this
Yeah.
bullshit. Like,
Absolutely.
hey, congratulations. What's his name again? I mean, no,
Yeah.
man, it
Yeah.
comes from
Yeah.
the heart, man.
It does. It does.
And again, that goes back to your music. That's what it does. It comes from the heart, and that's where it just tugs at you.
Yeah.
So so a shout out right back at you and Kayla.
Thank you,
Our
man.
support.
Thank you.
You got anything that I told you before? Anything that we can do for you and Kayla? We're here for you 100%, man. You guys, we need you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It means a lot. It's always awesome meeting people along the journey that truly, genuinely support you and care for you. Because you can never not use enough support or use enough support, whatever the saying is, right? It's
Yeah.
always nice to have some.
Hell yeah. Well, the thing
So,
is, too, Skylar, I'm not kidding, man. And like OG can attest to this. When when I start pacing,
uh,
it's like two things. It's either
yeah,
look out because I'm pissed and shit's about to go down, or I'm happy as hell and I'm just so excited because my mind's going in a million directions.
yeah,
Before we went live Sunday, for about an hour before
yeah,
at least an hour before our show, I never sat down. I went from
yeah.
the living room to the balcony to the kitchen to the studio, and I'm listening to all your different songs and just
That's
going
dope.
over
That's
different stuff.
dope.
And I'm like, and I just kept looking at her like,
Listen, listen.
I'm like,
Yeah.
are you listening? And I'm like, I listen. I am. I'm like, no, listen louder. And she's like, what? But I mean,
That's cool, man.
that connection. I mean, it's a gift, man. When
Yeah,
our stories, I mean, your songs and music, it's not that I mean, it sounds amazing. The beat, the rhythm, and all that stuff is
yeah.
awesome, but the power that's behind it, and then you throw in the lyrics and the message,
Ugh.
it's just like son of a bitch. I've been talking
Thank
about
you,
you
man.
since Sunday,
Thank
man.
you. Yeah,
But
that's I always try to be genuine in my music. I always try to speak from the heart. I really don't do too many meetings. I actually really don't do any
uh,
NAA meetings.
mm-mm,
But music is my therapy. Music is
Mhm.
my meetings, right? That's where
yeah,
that's my vocal share session where I talk about what's going on with me. And I truly believe that music is powerful and music is magic. And so therefore I just try to always be unapologetically myself. I always try to be genuine. I think it's important, because people start looking to you at a certain point for answers. And it's important to be able to
yeah,
guide them in the right way, or at least be able to, speak from experience, right? Because even
that's
if
it.
my answers aren't always one size fits all, but I could truly speak from my experience and what works for me. And that's what I try to do, and it's been crazy. It's worked out. It's taken off, and I love it because I don't have to have a facade. I don't have
And
to be
that's
somebody
it.
I'm not.
And
You
it's
know,
so much better when it's real, and just like the word that me and you kept saying, authentic, man. It's
authentic,
real,
Mhm.
authentic.
huge.
And like we were talking about where we were, where we are, and the hell in that freaking nasty ass place that we all know. And
Yeah,
from there to here, like you, man, sleeping under freaking bridges and food lines, and I mean,
yeah,
being evicted. I mean, do all these
yeah.
different things, and now Vegas, Texas, Arizona, Spain. I mean,
Uh,
my
it
brother,
goes
that's
on and
you.
on.
That's
It's it's
you.
it's it's a blessing, man. There's days I want to give up. There's days that are very difficult. There's days I'm just wore out, and at the end of it all, and I don't have a second to breathe. But then I got to remember and remind myself, this is what you always dream for. This is what
Mhm.
you work so hard for. You
Yeah.
better suck it up, keep in the game,
Mhm.
because the results are coming. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you can't handle it, get out the kitchen. But remember, this is what
It's-
you want and this is what you worked for. So go in there. You don't have to be perfect.
Nope.
You don't have to be anything other than yourself, and just offer 100%. And at the end of the day, you could walk away satisfied. right? Knowing because you don't
Exactly.
feel bad. If you give someone 100%, how you gonna walk away thinking, man, I wish I could have done more. I wish I could have. I gave it my all. I always leave it on the
Exactly.
floor. Like it don't matter. There's five, ten, thousands of people. I've done shows, plenty different crowd sizes, right? Even to this
Hmm.
day, I've done shows 20, 30 people, 10 people. Especially some of these centers and stuff like that. I put on a show. I have to. I give it. I'm out there like I'm rocking an arena, man. I give it my all. I'm bouncing around the crowd. I'm out of breath. I'm jumping into the crowd.
I
That's
believe
that's
it.
that's what I always love doing. I always love jumping in the crowd and climbing up on things. I'll climb up on people's tables that they're sitting at and start rapping to them. Like
That's
that's what I
great, man.
do. That's what I
That's
do. I'm in it. I'm hopping off that stage, running through the crowd, hopping on tables, and I'm rapping right in your face. You
Yeah,
know what
and
I'm
that's
saying?
what makes you you, man. And that you're not sitting there, you know, practicing like the whole choreography. Let's do this. You know what? Fuck
Yeah.
that. Let's do what comes natural and
Comes from
feels
it
real.
comes from it.
And but
And
I
it works
can't.
out, and it works out so well, and it's really cool though because me and Kayla has done so many shows together. We always know, basically, I would say about 60 to 70% of the time we know where the other one's gonna head during this part. Or we could tell by like our movements or a certain amount of excitement or amp up in our movement, right? Our intensity. Okay,
Uh
she's about to
huh.
shoot out over here. I'm about to do this. Oh, this song's coming up. Skylar's about to hop off the stage, run across. Like, but it's really cool because even though we don't plan it and we're just going with our emotions, it looks like it's choreographed. I've had so
Yeah.
many people like, oh my God, like you guys are so choreographed together. And like, we're not
Okay.
choreographed. We're literally just going for it. We just know each other and how we're gonna do things.
That's just it, man. And I could, and I could, as you were saying, talking about, when I'm doing this, she knows what's about to happen. I could like
You know?
some music, and all of a sudden she looks over, she's, oh shit, here.
Yeah,
Yep.
here it
And
comes.
then she's looking down. That table's in for a surprise.
Yep. Yep. I love it. I love it. That's my thing, man. I love. So I'm little, so I got to command attention. I got to command it with my energy, right? I'm such a show person. I lay it all on the line, bro. From
That's
like the road
great,
to
man.
recovery tour, I speak for about an hour. I tell my story, all the way from young all the way to where I'm at now, from like foster homes to abandonment issues, getting in trouble, being expelled, homeless, going through like chemically induced schizophrenia, dealing with this, shooting dope, like to rocking arenas, getting out of prison, my mind frame, like I take them through it all, right? And I'm so animated when I do it, like when I'm telling the stories. And then the music comes, and then when the music comes, I tell stories in between each one, like and set it up like, okay, blah 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 blah, like here's the us. You know what I'm saying? Never thought I'd be anything from shooting dope to being left on the corner, all this different stuff. But guess what? This next one's here's the us. It's like we made it this far, and the song "Here's the Us" comes on. Like I'm so like about the show, like from the certain order the songs go into to the emotion to it. Like I'd like to take people through a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
Um, Always start out with something, try to fun, energy, kind of boppy. Of course the lyrics are still real and things like that, but something energetic, right? Because if you
Hmm.
just start out with something hard hitting, people are like, okay, you got to get people to loosen up a little bit. And then I just bow, 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 getting deeper and deeper. The next thing you know, I bring the energy down to like the sad, sad stuff, and then finishing songs, right, where I take them off with because the walk on water brings them down, like
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
sucks
oh,
Mm-hmm.
them in, because each song is getting you deeper and deeper, and you're just sucked in. And then Kayla hits the walk on water, right? And then everybody's just like, dang.
oh.
And then I hit him with the hold me down. And I'm just,
Nah.
that's my normally like hop off stage, like hop in the crowd. I'm climbing on people's chairs. Like I'm doing all types of stuff. And then I bring it in with the heartbeat. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And then
Hmm.
it's like at the end, we meet in the middle. We both raise our hand. We get our crowd reactions. And then I usually say one or two lines. This is the road to recovery tour. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
It's dope, bro.
Awesome.
I'm all about the show process. Like I love it. I love it. Uh, it's always fun to be able to do what you love. And to have my best
yes.
friend, the cheat code right there, it's like it's over. It's a wrap. It don't matter how many times I mess up. Like people like it, and that's why I'm grateful. Like I know it's gonna be a great show just because I brought Kayla there,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And
And
vice versa, brother. And but same thing, man.
he
Yeah.
says that about me,
Yeah.
but I just feel like I'm me. Although I have been watching some concert footages for like the last 20, 30 shows. And I got to say, I am pretty impressed by my growth, my development as an artist, a performing artist, my confidence issue, or my confidence, like all these different things. Like,
No.
I'm really impressed. And like by watching show footage and studying it and trying to figure out what I should do different
Mhm.
and preparation and rehearsals and things like that, like I'm pretty proud to say, like, me and Kayla kind of put on a badass show. Like we kind of knock
Oh,
it out,
I mean,
especially like seeing like other performing artists like on the show slot, or like other artists that are coming through, or other like local acts, things like that. Like they all do great, but I'm pretty proud to say where we are. Like it's kind of impressive, and it's awesome to be a part of something that's good, especially knowing that I wasn't naturally good. I didn't naturally have this talent. I wasn't automatically just gifted. Like I worked for 2 decades plus
yeah.
to be good,
Yeah.
right? And
Wow.
so now that I'm good, I'm like, this is kind of cool. Check this out, you know?
The thing is, it's not like kinda. You freaking are. I mean,
Thank
and
you.
when I'm talking about different things, like with me finding my passion doing this stuff,
Yeah.
I just like you, man. Like I saw this one during a meeting at work. They had this interview with Tom Brady. It was
Okay.
huge. I mean, and he was just
The
talking about
goat.
motivation. Oh, they're talking about motivation and all that stuff. I tell you what, it was just basically, listen, man. He goes, I wasn't Tiger Woods. That dude was a prodigy. He was
He
born
got
great. He
picked
goes,
in the 6th round, I
oh,
think.
oh yeah. He goes, I wasn't that guy. He goes, I in high school, our team was the worst of the worst of the worst, and I couldn't even be a backup in that team.
He was so
Michigan.
slow, so
Oh, he said, you
everything.
know
Like,
what? He goes, I worked because I refused to fail. He goes, I was. He goes, it's not just words. If you want to be the best, you will be the best.
yeah.
But you got to work even harder. All these things, and I tell you what, I left that work. I was at Wolverine Harley, man, and I watched that. It was like, hell yes. And then, like, even doing, what I'm doing now with the shows.
Is that on ESPN or what?
I gotta find it. I'll send it to you. You'll love it. It
Ugh.
was just so motivating. But I
I
was like
love
talking to,
documentaries, sports documentaries, all that
oh,
stuff.
it
Like,
just
I'm
hits
in it to
so.
win it. I like to know their history, their thoughts behind the scenes, because a lot of stuff I've
Yeah.
seen, and to like see the conversations or the stuff that led up to that event, or like
Yeah.
like a tough day, or like their family's sick and they just go and they just ball out the gym. I'm like,
It's
damn.
not just words, man. It's like you want to talk
Ah,
about. You got to freaking do it, and that's what I said too. And like with this here, it's like, listen, man. You talk with some of the hosts of different shows. It was, what do you want? Well, I'm doing this. It's like when it comes to this shit, I've said straight out, I want to be, when you hear My Fight Our War and when you hear Manny Vitale, I want you to say, fuck, I want to be on that dude's show. Yeah, that's what I want. And they're like, oh, being a little narcissistic. Why in the hell would I come on saying, I want to be the best I can?
yeah.
No, man, I want to shoot for the freaking stars. I want,
I want
that's
it
what I
all.
want. And
I
that's
want
not
it all.
saying anything against anyone else, but
No.
I don't want to be like everyone else. I want, I want to set my stars here.
And as you should. If you love it, aim high, right?
Yeah.
I always say this is the motto I live by. My a mentor of mine, for the sales company I used to work for, became a good friend of mine. He was vice president. His name's Adam Ward, but he told me these words, and I always think about it because I'm not always the most gifted at a lot of things, but I have a lot of passion. I have a lot of heart, right? You
Mhm.
can't really judge somebody without knowing the heart they have, right? Because that could put you over talent, right?
Oh, without a doubt.
Hard work beats talent every time. Talent don't work hard,
Every
right? But here is a thing that he told me, and I live by this, right? Especially I think about this musically wise. I don't have to be the best, right? I don't have to be the best in the room. I just have to be willing to outwork the person next to me.
All right.
That is pretty much
And
something the same line that was Brady was saying. If I don't walk out of there being the goal I wanted, and if it's because I gave my best, but someone else worked harder, God bless you, man. But if I walk out of there not getting that because I know I didn't give my best, screw that. That's unacceptable.
You have
Just
to
like
give
I
your
always
best.
say, I always tell when I'm doing shows, you know what? We will never quit and we will never give up. We will never fail. The only way you will fail is if you quit
You quit
and
trying
give up.
because
That's
you
it.
don't fail until you quit.
Exactly, man. And like with
So
this here, I never planned on doing, all these shows, never planned on doing that. But in other words, you said passion. When
passion,
you
bro. Yeah.
finally, you may want to do something. It's like, you know what? I enjoy this, but I want to do this instead. And
Yeah.
you start doing it thinking that that's where you're supposed to be. And if that's not God's plan for you, no matter how bad you want it, it's like, sorry,
Yeah.
man, it pulls you back in the direction you need to be going. And that's what happened with me in doing this stuff, where I've had people ask me, it's like, how long have you been doing shows and all that? When I did like my second
Yeah.
interview, and I'm like, well, this is my second one. And they're like, bullshit.
Yeah.
Something clicked. Something just
Yeah.
clicked. And the comfort zone, because like I said before, I had to do like a presentation at work in front of like 5 people that were like friends.
Yeah.
I was so nervous just talking. I started hyperventilating. I couldn't stand up and talk to people. And now
Yeah.
it's like, this dude don't shut up. And
Hey,
it's like,
let's go.
I
Let's
was
go.
like, man,
But
now me and you together. Ah.
let's go, bro. Now 2 people won't shut up.
Like I said, I keep looking over here. OG's just sitting here like this.
uh, fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this.
No, it's crazy because I had like so a conversation I had with myself in prison, right? I told you that my logo stands for it goes back to that conversation I have. It's my beacon of hope. Because during my addiction, when everything was dark, it was the only candle that stayed lit. It was the light at the end of the tunnel. And I've been arrested maybe about 20 different times, served time probably about 20 different times. This last time in prison, I'm sitting there and I remember sitting there and I started telling myself the same thing that I always tell myself. When I get out, I'm gonna do different. When I get out, I'm gonna go get me that job. I'm gonna see my family. I'm gonna stay out of trouble, right?
Yep.
And I started thinking about all this stuff, and I had to look around because I noticed that I was lying, right? I looked around and I realized I was talking to myself. I wasn't talking to nobody. It was all internal conversation. And I started thinking, why am I lying to myself? I know how this ends every single time. It's never went any different. Every time I got out,
No.
it's never went any different. So what makes me think that it's gonna go different this time? So then I really started thinking, I had a revelation, and I started thinking to myself, well, what do I really want to do in my life, right? And I came up with the answer almost instantly. And I thought, well, here's the thing. I've always wanted to do music since 1999, when I heard Eminem rap on the Slim Shady LP, right? Or sorry, the Marshall Mathers LP. I caught on to Eminem a year late, right? So here's the thing. So I heard that and I fell in love with it. And knew I wanted to do music. I've been doing music since 11 years old. I'll be 34 this year. Okay, so I was about 27 at the time because I got out 2 days after my 28th birthday. And I remember sitting there thinking, okay, so I want to do music. And I thought to myself, what is my best chance with music? Like, what's something that, like, I can do? Because I've done music and, like, not much has happened besides, like, local stuff, right? And I thought to myself, something I've never done with music is I never done it sober, right?
Wow.
I've never
Okay.
done music sober, even at a young age. Even at a young age. Like I
Yeah,
said, I
you're
believe, I
saying,
don't know if I
man.
said it last podcast, 13, 14 years old. I'm
Yes,
getting drunk. I'm
yes.
smoking blunts. They're sneaking me in the side of the club. I'm performing, right? So, like, I've never done music sober. My first sober performance is when I got out and I was 28 years old, right? And so here's the
Man.
thing is I'm in there and I'm having this conversation with myself, and I was like, I've never done music sober. Okay, so I thought, huh. And this is how I stayed sober. I stayed sober in prison because I wasn't trying to lose my good time and my trans leave and everything like that. I wanted out as soon as possible because I was tired of being locked up, right? So I'm in there and I was like, well, I've never done music sober. So, I thought to myself, what's gonna happen if I go out there and I do it sober? Like, if I give it my best shot, my best effort, 100%, not no BS, not like, oh, I'm trying, like I'm gonna give it my best, or I'll do better next time, like 100% my best. These are the two options that are gonna happen. The only two options. I get out, I do it right, I give it my best, and music takes off. I'm living my wildest dreams. I'm doing everything I always deserved. Everything that that little 9-year-old boy that had that dream that first heard that first Eminem album, right? He is getting those dreams that he always deserved before addiction came in, before life happened, before everything, right? So, two options if I get out and do it right. One, my dreams come true, or two, my dreams don't come true and I fail. But I thought about it and I was like, am I going to be okay with that? And I thought, you know what? I would. Looking back at it, if I gave it 100% and I do it sober, right? Because I thought those are my best chances at being successful with music. If I go out there and I set myself up with the best chances and I give it 100% effort and I don't make it, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay because at the end of the day, that's closure. If I don't make it in this industry because I'm not good enough, if I don't make it in this industry because I don't have what it takes, that's okay. A lot of people don't have what it takes when it comes to what they want, and that's just the reality of things, right? A lot of people
Definitely,
fail.
man.
There's a lot of people that are not good enough. That's okay. I'm okay with being one of those as long as I did it right and I gave it my all, right? But one thing I will not be okay with is growing old and my dreams not coming true because I half-assed it. Right? I believe there
Exactly.
would be all types of guilt, all types of, I'd be ornery, I'd be angry, I think I would
Oh,
have resentment.
oh, the regret, all that
I
regret,
don't think I'd
man.
ever forgive myself, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. So I told myself, if being sober and going out there and giving it my best, if I could live with the only two results possible, why not? I can always get high later. The dope game's always going to be there,
It'll
right?
always
You know
be
what
there,
I'm saying?
man.
The streets will always welcome me back, So here's the thing. So I got out and I did it sober and I did it right. And so that's why I say I got sober for music, but I stayed for recovery because recovery provided a life I refused to give up or to, give get rid of stuff or I everything. I don't have to compromise with recovery,
Yep.
right? I can
Mhm.
have it all and I can keep it
Ex-
all, and so that's
That
why I say my conversation, my logo goes back to that conversation of being in prison. It's my beacon of hope where I really sat down and was real with myself. It was like, quit lying. What you want to do? You want to do music? You ever done it sober? I think that's your best chance. Go out there and
man.
do it.
Wow.
Don't half-ass it. You know what I'm saying? What you do behind closed doors always comes to the light.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt,
And
man. What happens to the darkness will come to light. Where
always.
were you? What that very first show that you did
Huh?
sober? Where was it? That very first show. I mean, do you remember where it was and all that? And I mean, how'd you
Uh,
feel that time
it
walking
might
out
have
on
been. It might have
stage?
been 4D. It might have been 4D. They're my tour sponsors. I know they were doing some local stuff before I started throwing shows with them. I think it might have been them. It was probably them. It was probably a recovery show.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Doing it sober, I didn't realize I have stage fright.
Oh, that's what I was gonna get to, man.
I
I
didn't
mean,
know I had stage fright because I was always
no,
drunk or high, and then I get
I'm
up there
telling you.
sober, and I'm like, oh shit. This is
Damn.
real. Like I'm so
Because
scared. Like my stomach's in knots. I can't think of a word. Like I don't even know how my songs start. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I
all
don't
that
remember
panic.
any line from any of my songs. How am I supposed to perform 3 or 4 songs? Like this is crazy. You know. Heidi said, "Where can you hear my music? You could search me up, Skylar
Heidi.
Ray, just the way my name is spelled on the screen right there, SKYLERRAY. I'm not sure what platform, but if you're following me on Facebook." You could go ahead and I will drop comments. I will reply to this comment right here, 5:15, when I hop off with my music link, so you can check it out. But no, look, I was scared. I was nervous, and I've done over 100 shows sober now, and I realized that feeling don't go away. Right? I'm still scared. I'm still nervous. But here's the thing now, it has kind of shifted, right? Because I would panic every time before. I'm comfortable now. I dealt with a lot of confidence issues because I was so scared and had such
Mm,
bad stage fright. Nowadays, of course, Heidi, I got you, no problem. So nowadays, um, it looks different. I'm scared, I'm nervous, but I don't stress it because I know it's going to be okay. And I know I do my dang thing on the stage, right? And not only that, but I know I prepared and I prepped. I know I rehearsed and I know the lyrics.
And
So
you
it don't
know that
matter.
you're that freaking good, and you
Yeah.
know
Yeah,
that it's you, and you know it's not the alcohol. You know
that's what
it's
I'm
Skylar
saying.
Ray.
And
Yeah.
now I trust myself. I trust myself with the work, the practices, the put in. And so now when I'm up there scared and nervous about to do a show and I can't remember one line to my song, I know when the music hits, I'm going to do it. It's automatic, right?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
automatic. I don't have to think. It just happens, right? And
See,
so like
Nice.
it
Nice.
shifted.
that
Went
is
from
cool.
stage fright, being scared and nervous equaling stage fright, but now being scared and nervous equaling I trust myself and it's gonna be okay. I'm ready. Like, let's go. Throw me up
And
on
see, the
stage.
thing
Let's do
is,
it.
too, man, that confidence level that we were talking about, man, about being
Yeah.
confident with yourself, because that's like me, man. I remember, like, I mean, obviously not an entertainer and all that, but
Yeah.
just the way I had myself in a crowd, whether it was out with the buddies or out with the motorcycle club in different situations, things get stressful. You start to get that little nervous. You take drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
It kind of puts that fog and that you puts us in that false sense of security.
You go through the
But as it,
motions.
yeah, so all this time that went by, was it me, my attitude and all that shit and my
Yeah.
personality that was getting over, or
Yeah.
was it just the blind ass ambition from the drugs and alcohol? Like with you, now you, like you said, you notice, you know what, watching these shows, and it's okay, man. I am fucking good.
I'm good.
I
That's
sound,
the
and
crazy
that's
thing.
and the thing is,
I'm
that's like
so proud. Like I'm
you
actually
need to
good.
be, brother. I mean, because your
I'm
stuff,
good.
I swear to God, I did not sit down for an hour listening
Thank you.
and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. I would never do that. I
Yeah.
mean,
Thank you.
I feel very close with you. I never really met Kayla yet,
Yeah.
but
No.
I swear to God, I did not stop talking about you that whole time. And I'm like, something, it was so, I kept
Thank you.
telling OG, I kept telling, go, something's going to happen. I kept telling before
Thank
we
you.
even went on, I go,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, something's going to happen. And then as soon as we went on, it did happen. It was like, this was freaking meant to be. And
Yeah.
then the people that were responding,
Good energy.
there's Trisha and along with Heidi. And
Mhm.
I wanted to go back to Heidi real quick. Heidi
Uh-huh.
has been amazing, Skylar. Heidi has
That's
been
dope.
part of My Fight Our War since day one, almost 2 years ago. She
Day
has been
one,
there
let's
offering.
go!
She has been supporting me as far as my journey and
Yeah.
all that with the stuff I've gone through and different stories. But she supported everybody, and people are down. You'll see her. You'll see all the other
That's
ones.
dope.
But Heidi has been there original. She's but so yeah, she's awesome, man.
Give me,
And
I
long,
see you on Facebook, Heidi. I'm gonna go ahead and send you a follow. Give me a follow back if you want. But also,
oh,
like I said, I'll
definitely.
reply to the comment with where you could check out me and my fiance's music. So
Oh my Heidi, just to let you know, when you hear this, I
Yeah,
mean,
love it.
like as you heard me, and I'm not lying, man.
Hmm.
I just sat there and I was almost getting angry. It was like,
Yeah.
because I was like, "Are you listening?" And she's like, "I'm listening." I go, "Listen more intense. Stop blinking. If you blink, you're gonna miss something." I mean,
That's
it was
dope.
just silly as shit, but it was just, that whole thing, man. How freaking sometimes you'll hear people say, "Man, life's so unfair." You know what? It's called life.
Yeah.
What's unfair is the decisions we make at the time. We made shit decisions, but it's
Yeah.
not life's fault. We did that. Own it, move on, carry
Yep.
on, man.
I do believe
But
in that.
oh, but yeah, I mean, it's just been incredible.
That's really cool.
I
Yeah,
just
man.
looked down, Scott. I'm looking at some of this stuff because I just been trying to keep up saying hi
Yeah.
and all that. So I look down, I go, hey, we got Skylar Ray now. Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, let's
Skylar,
go, baby.
Skylar,
Let's
we got
go.
Skylar's in the house. You are
Hey.
so freaking good. You came on to just talk to yourself.
Hey, I want to drop that in there. I'm gonna reach out to Heidi
Please.
personally, but I wanted to drop that in there. If anybody's looking, that is
Oh, please.
my website. You could find. I have a bunch of me and my lady are proud owners of the Weedy Recover brand. It has really taken off. We have a lot of recovery hoodies, but our Weedy Recover design, we have moved over 16,000 hoodies in the last couple years.
That is
It
awesome.
has been incredible. But also all my music's on there, all my bios, my histories, free music downloads, links to whatever music platform that you use. You know what I'm saying? Dan said, "How are you? Let's go. Your music is number one. It's
Dan
all I
Gibson,
listen
man.
to."
So, what about is that now with going to that site that for Heidi that you just said? Now, is that going to be with Kayla as well? Is it both, or does she? Is there another
She's on there.
site
I
with
will
hers?
drop Kayla's real quick. It has our
Yeah,
music
please,
on there,
please
but
drop
she
it.
has her own.
You
Hold
know
on.
what? I mean, Skylar, whatever you can drop, please do because the more we can get this out, the better. Heidi, you're going to be blown away when you hear these two together. When you hear them separate, doing their, his verse, her verse, coming in that. I mean, and then the story. I don't know, Heidi, if you saw the show we did on Sunday, man. This story is just freaking amazing. I still love sitting at the diner, just
Yeah.
meeting with the notebooks. Yeah, this
Six
is what
and
we're gonna
Anarchy
do.
at the Originals,
And
downtown Portland.
sitting there, and next thing you know, he's like, "Yeah, I've been professionally trained in opera, and I've been this and this." And Skylar fires back with, "I just got out of prison, and I'm a rapper."
I'm a rapper, baby.
And
Let's
the
go.
next is freaking history, man. And I remember telling you, I go, Skylar, this whole thing sounds like bullshit. And I go, and that's the beauty of it, man, because
It's
you
crazy,
took
bro.
that whole bundle of emotions and turned it into this freaking what another thing I wanted.
Why not
what,
have my own fairy tale?
Oh, and it's dreams come true, mother. And what you were talking about different arenas and the energy and all that. You were talking about sometimes there's 20 people, 10 people, whatever. What's the largest crowd that you guys performed in front of?
Probably like 8,000, maybe a little
Nice.
bit more, somewhere between like 7 or 9,000.
That had to be when you walked out. I mean, I've never experienced anything like that.
It was crazy.
When you
It
walk
was
out
crazy.
onto a stage and I mean, you got 8,000 people just screaming your name. I mean, the lights, the energy, and sober.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is I actually felt really comfortable. I was really scared and nervous, but then when I stepped on the stage, I don't know, I felt very comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like I was super scared and nervous all day, getting ready on the backstage. They called me and Caleb, and it was weird. It was like it went away. It was like it went away, like I was meant to be there, And I was super excited. I performed. Me and Kayla performed together. We did some songs, and there was one song. I wish I would have done better. You could. Well, I actually might have cut the part I messed up a bunch on YouTube. So it's on YouTube. We're at Spokane Arena. We're opening up for Kevin Gates, and It's such a big stage. It's bigger than I'm used to. Right? It's arena. And I'm running across this stage because that's what I always do from one side of the stage to the next side of the stage. I'm so energetic, right? But I'm not the most in shape. So I'm running back and forth. And there's this song that I do called Burnside. And after like the second verse, it was a matter of like, it's a lot faster rapping. So it was like me being out of breath, me forgetting like a word or two, and then me just not knowing how to hop back on because I'm like so confused, and I'm like, what line are we on? What note are we on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm looking around, I see people in the crowd, and they're staring at me, and I'm like, oh, they think I suck, they hate me, and and then I look up. Sorry, Mama, am I being too
They were
loud?
probably freaking going nuts. They loved it, man.
It was cool. And then I look up and I see Kayla from across the crowd, and it was comforting. You know what I'm saying? It was very.
That was your
It
cheat
was
code.
reassurance,
Cheat code.
and I saw
Cheat
her kind
code.
of mouthing my lyrics.
Oh man,
And
that's
and
got
all
your
of a sudden
back, brother.
and then all of a sudden it was like, bow, snap back to reality, right? And I just hit it, and I got back on. But there was a good fumble for like 10 seconds, might have been 15. I was like trying to hit a couple like ad libs, couple things, and I was like, this is the biggest moment of my life, and I am freaking dropping the ball so hard right now. And I'm like out of breath, and I'm like stressed. I'm like, and I'm like,
that's what it turns into the yeah. Then you're
trying
like,
to hit a couple lines. Oh, yeah, but it was fun. Go ahead.
No, man. I can just see you run across the stage.
It was hard. It was rough, but it was worth it, man. It was fun.
Right, man.
I see Dan Gibson in here. Dan Gibson is he was one of the ones from Idaho that came and got me, fixed the vehicle.
No, get him and Kate, right?
Kate,
Was
yep.
it Kate and Danny?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah, Kate and Danny. Actually, they were nice enough and jumped on and followed me. They're with jumped on with my fight now. So thank you, Kate and
Let's
Danny.
go.
So oh, that's okay.
Good
So they're
people.
the drove
Totally.
man. That was a how long? It was like 13 hours or 9 hours.
18 and a half round trip.
Man, God
Wow.
bless you guys. So that's Danny, right there.
Yep. Yep.
Danny, I
That's
tell
my
you what,
guy.
Kate jumped on when we were talking last Sunday about this,
Yep.
and he was telling me about you guys, and he goes, "Yeah, man, we ran out of gas, or this happened, that happened, or not ran out of
Yep.
gas, had some issues." And he said, "He goes, man, I can believe this, man. They freaking drove 9 hours. Just we'll be there. We got you." And it's just like, man,
Yep.
that's just
Insane.
amazing. So, Danny and Kate, hats off, man. Thank you for
Thank you
being
so
you.
much.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm always completely grateful. I try to give them a shout out every single time they're at shows, every time, because people like that, they deserve a little extra recognition. I don't care if people have been to my last 4 shows and they hear it every single show. Every time they are in the building, I want to
There
make
you go.
sure I highlight how great of people they are,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
without
that's
a
just the
doubt.
way it is.
It's funny you say that too, man, because I could say the same thing. I'm like, I know, broken record, man, because I always give thanks to those who help me out. And I go down the road with like Brad McLeod, Sober's Cool, Dan and Donna, Hard Knocks, and I just do it over and over. I go, and I know that you guys heard this from Cake.
Yeah,
And but the thing is, you got to give love, man, because you get what you
you have
give, and
to.
you give what you get. And
I
I
agree.
have been so freaking blessed, man. And I am not going to. I don't take it for granted. And so I feel that thank you's not enough. And it's
Yeah,
just like I want. It's like it means. I really want people to know when I say that I'm not just bullshitting you, just to make you want like me or follow me or something. No,
yeah,
man. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate it. Just means the world to me, man. Just
it
like
does.
you when you posted join me tonight. I'm looking forward and grateful for being on Manny's show.
Yeah,
I read that and I'm tearing up.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at her. I
let's
go,
go.
and I just looked at her.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, "What's wrong?" I go, "Look what he posted." And she was just like, "Oh shit!" Like, me thought it was something because the way I reacted.
Yeah, yeah,
And I mean, my eyes watered up and shit. And she's looking
Yeah.
at it and she's like, "That's so," and I'm like, "That's what I mean, man."
yeah.
It's just that you didn't have to do that, but you
I'm
did.
But you
always
did.
grateful, man. Anytime
Yeah,
anybody's willing to share their platform or share their audience, like that's cool because you don't have to do that. No one has to do that. No one has to give you anything in life, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
exactly,
and I
bro.
never really asked for anything. I believe in working for it, but it's really cool when people do that. Like when Danny and them hit me, right?
Yep.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
w- I told him no like 2 or 3 times, and then he's like, "No, we're coming, we're coming."
Don't
And
matter what you say.
I looked at Kayla and I was like, "Ugh." They keep saying they're coming. I was like, I don't want them to come. Like, we're good. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, we're
Ah.
coming. And then I call him, I talk to him, and I was like, babe, should we just let him? And then she's like, we never let anybody help us, and we kind of could use it right now, you
It's like
know?
you know what, hun? It's time to say yes.
And then I told her, and I said, you know what? I said I just bought. I was like, I forgot to tell you because it was like 10 minutes ago, but I just bought somebody's whole entire order at the grocery store because I wanted
Oh,
the good
that's right.
karma.
I
You know what I'm
remember that.
saying?
Oh, that's
I was
right,
like,
man.
so who am I to turn this karma down when I said I wanted it? You know?
It was 10-minute karma refund.
Uh,
10
yep.
minutes, man.
Dan said if we could help, we will. But let me tell you, Skylar and Kayla, music is absolutely amazing, and these are two beautiful people. I love it. I'm glad we could help. Thank you, Dan.
Oh,
It goes a long
Nice.
way, man. I appreciate you dropping everything and taking no for an answer because I refuse a lot of help. I don't like asking for help. I don't like accepting help. So I'm really glad that you wouldn't listen and you told me that you're already coming. And then when you asked me what it was and I told you don't come and you're like, I already bought the part, I'm coming. You know what I'm
man,
saying?
that's
Like it
awesome.
means a lot because I couldn't say no and you were so persistent on it. Finally, I was like, whatever, at this point, just come through.
Just
You know?
let's just do this.
I needed it. I needed it. So
No, that
it was really cool, man, and I'm grateful. I got a chance to meet you. I got a chance to meet you in person. I got a chance to talk with you. You know, it was really cool. Well, I met you the show before once, but it was really cool to meet you on an intimate level when there's not 100 people trying to ask me questions, and I actually had
exactly,
time to
man.
like talk with you, like realize who you are. Got a chance to meet the kid. I got a chance to meet the lady, and it wasn't just like, oh yeah, sign something cool, like what you want to buy, So
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
really cool to be outside of my work profession and have time to be able to enjoy your presence. So thank you, man.
Nice.
Thank you for that opportunity, Dan. I'm
Nice.
grateful.
They got to meet the man behind the mic, and then
Let's go.
they got to meet Music and Mayhem.
Music and mayhem, baby. Let's go.
You know what? I think I just out of the blue, when I started My Fight Our War, I literally got the name within 5 minutes. I had no idea, and I just wrote it. I didn't know why. I just wrote it, and I was like, "Holy crap!" With me and you, when we decided, hey, we should do a show together.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when I sent you that, I'm like, I just say Music and Mayhem, and I was just I didn't know what you'd think about it, and you're like, yes.
I like it. I like it.
It's
It makes sense. It makes sense. What else would it be?
I know, man. So that's our new show. Because I had
love it.
people asking they're like, oh, well, that's cool, but that'd be neat if you guys kept doing it. I go, that's the name of our show. I go,
Yeah.
we talked about this. We're actually this is, we have My Fight Our War. We have, the Wolfpack. Now this is me and Skylar Ray's show, Music and Mayhem, with Skylar Ray and Manny Vitale. They're like, no shit. And I'm like, they thought it was just going to be a one and done. We are just getting started.
Yeah,
we
definitely are.
On?
We definitely are. Heidi said, have you met Susie's the dog, Manny's
Come
cat?
Here, Susie.
You're gonna have to pick her up.
Let's see. Come here, Susie.
God.
Oh. Baby. Oh.
Oh, Susie May.
Susie and she's not happy right now.
Yeah,
Let's see.
yeah.
Oh, let's just do this.
At the table.
Let's go, Susie.
She's laying. She's just out of.
She's
camera,
not really into it. She's not a radio personality. That's fine. It's not everybody's cat's pajamas. It's
That's it. Oh man, bro! I tell you what, though. But I mean, I know we're holy crap. We're at 1:20, brother.
Cooking.
Oh, but yeah, man. Just real quick, the people that were joking around, man, they're sitting there talking about the Sunday show, and when they were asking when they saw the promo about Music and Mayhem, they're like, man, you guys consider really doing that? I'm like, we are doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. And so it's going to be interesting to see, but this is going to be a hell of a ride, man. And I am just, oh man, she's eating my ear pods. Oh, she just, oh, Susie.
No more Susie on the table.
Susie off the table. Susie, clean up.
Banned from the table. Bad.
Clean up I one. Shit.
Let's go. Dan said he's been watching your reels here and there, Manny. He said, I always love watching them.
Oh man, thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And like I said, when Skylar said what you and Kate did, it was just like, first things first. Thank you to you guys for being you. And that's exactly what we need in this world, man. People who are doing something like that, and they're not doing it for attention. You're not doing it for money. You're not doing it for
They didn't even ask for anything.
See, and then didn't you say that wasn't they had to bring a child with them too?
They brought their child with them.
Yeah,
they
and
brought
there were
their
some
child.
issues.
They packed everything up. Yeah, their child does. Yeah. And
so
but
God bless you guys, man.
God bless them.
So Danny and Kate, just so you know, I mean, obviously with Skylar, but with us too, you're going to be seeing our show, Music and Mayhem, with Skylar and myself. But of course, we've got My Fight Our War and the Wolfpack. Yep. You are more than welcome anytime. Please chime in if there's stuff that we could get out there for your voices to be heard. Let me know, man, and we'd be more than happy to help out in any way. I mean, for
Absolutely.
you guys. So this is what it's all about. We're family.
And advertise the shows. And advertise the shows.
Advertise the
shows. His
oh, yeah, definitely. And so Skylar, man, definitely be dropping stuff to me as far as where you're going, where you're going to be, so I can spread it all over our pages. We will definitely get your word out there where you're going to be going.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Heidi Sullivan, she said, I'm loving every minute of listening to the both of you.
Oh, Heidi, I told you, man, or I'm sorry. Heidi, me and Skylar, I don't know if you heard the backstory here. When we first started this last Sunday, I go, let's go on. We were going to go 6:30 live. I go, let's go on at 6, just so me and you chit chat a little bit, and just kind of get the feel. And as soon as we started talking, within the first 5 minutes, we both started laughing. It's like, this is gonna be good. And then
It's gonna work out.
Oh, it went down, man. And then by the end of the show, Heidi, we were sitting there talking about doing stuff in the future. Well, after we finished the live, me and Skylar kept talking. It's like, this shit went so good, man. And we were just go back and forth about it. And then we started talking about doing a show.
Yep.
And just kind of joking at first. And then it was like, why are we joking about this shit, man? This here,
let's do it.
Do it. And so I sent him a promo the other day, and I go, here we go, Music and Mayhem, name of our show. So we got to figure out, with your crazy ass schedule and stuff, we'll figure out what works for you and Kayla, and if we can get something, whenever it is, we'll try to get like something,
something consistent. We'll figure something out.
Yeah. So Heidi, keep an eye out, and we'll definitely put some promos out there to let you know when we're coming on. But this is gonna be a constant thing. This isn't a one and done. And we just can go with Skylar Ray, Kayla, Pound Cake, Susie, OG, and me.
Pound Cake.
Oh man. Well, all right, brother. Shit, listen, man. We gotta be getting ready to wind this thing down. But brother, I love you, man. And this is just the beginning of some amazing things that there goes Thing trying to jump in there. You see that?
My thing's waving as well.
Oh, my thing is mine's kind of jacked up here. I got my stitches and all that in there. Oh. my thing's been abused. Whoa, no. Oh man. All right, Skylar, man. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna go grab me some food here finally. But brother, thank you. This is landmark. This is our first show. Our first show with music and Mayhem with Skylar Ray and Manny Vitale, man. So here's to the beginning. Here's to new beginnings.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, man. I'm looking forward to episode number 2. Let's get it. And you guys, leave some comments if you guys have any topics you guys want us to cover, anything like that. Feel free to always drop it. I'm always scouring the comment sections. I'm pretty heavy on that. So between me and OG, we ain't missing nothing.
But I tell you what, too, is for our next show.
Oh no.
Oh.
No. Oh Lord.
Yeah, it's like, these two don't get along. All right, but I tell you what, man, but that's a good idea, man. For the next show.
Little cakers. Oh, little Susie room.
Oh man, this is great, brother. I love this, man. But we'll for the next show we'll give like a couple days notice before we go on again. And if there's some topics that you guys want to talk about, any questions for Skylar, any questions for myself, any questions for OG, Pound Cake, and Susie, let us know. And we will
Kayla.
Kayla, of course, man. And but okay, this has been great, man. Like I said, Skylar, thank you, love you, brother. And episode 1 in the books.
Let's get it. Let's go. Music and Mayhem. I'll see you guys.
All right, brother. All right, we'll talk.
Bye-bye.
Yep.
There you go, folks. Episode 1, Music and Mayhem. Skylar Ray, Manny Vitale, Kayla, Susie, OG, Pound Cake. It's a wrap. That was a riot. That was a freaking riot. I'm tired.
You're probably hungry.
I'm hungry. So you guys, thank you so much. Keep your eyes open, and we will be posting when our next show is. Questions, comments, anything for us, please post them, and we'll give you plenty of notes for the next show, and we will have a great time. So until then, you guys have a great night. Love you. Thank you for your support. And as always, keep fighting a good fight.